So as you drop down the Peninsula Trail to the Los Vaqueros Trail, you can either go to the right up the Badger Pass Trail and over some more oak-wooded knolls, or you can follow the Los Vaqueros Trail back to the beginning of the hike.
If you choose the latter, you'll be walking downhill with the seasonal creek on your right. I asked Malcolm Sproul whether he knew of any sightings of rare amphibian species, such as tiger salamanders and red-legged frogs, at Los Vaqueros.
All over the place. There's lots of them. The East Bay, eastern Contra Costa, Alameda counties is considered one of the strongholds for both species.
That may seem strange. Amphibians need water, and their east side strongholds get maybe half the rainfall of places closer to the coast. But this area's winter and spring rains are perfectly timed for the reproductive needs of tiger salamanders and red-legged frogs. Besides, both species stay underground a lot. When it's 110 degrees out here in the summer, they're likely to be down in a ground squirrel burrow, where it can be a chilly 50 degrees. Tiger salamanders are grassland animals, about 8 to 10 inches long, with dark bodies and creamy spots. Adults spend the first 5 or 6 years of their lives underground. Then they come to ponds for breeding, but only for a couple of weeks each year. Red-legged frogs, on the other hand, are more or less creek animals. An adult is about 2 to 5 inches long, much larger than a tree frog. Their overall body color tends toward a rusty red. Red-legged frogs need water longer than tiger salamanders. Creeks are best, but they'll use seasonal ponds too if they hold water late into the dry season. Sometimes on purpose and sometimes by accident, humans have helped out both tiger salamanders and red-legged frogs in this area.
Their populations prior to any European development were always down on the valley floor. There may have been a slump pond somewhere or a large pool in a creek further back up the watershed where there was enough water, but that was very rare. And of course the reservoirs essentially flooded all of that habitat, but prior to the reservoir flooding the area, ranchers built a lot of stock ponds. And tiger salamanders and red-legged frogs colonized stock ponds. There was already populations established back up in the hills. So we certainly didn't lose them all, and they had to build more ponds, and the water district has monitored them, and they've done some improvements to various ponds to try to enhance the ability for them to support these species.
Is there a chance we'll see a tiger salamander while we're out hiking?
The odds are you never will. Because tiger salamanders generally move on rainy nights or periods of very high humidity, the opportunity to see one is very limited. You have to know when to be there, and you have to know what you're looking for. If it's not pouring rain, they may just be sitting in a burrow. And yeah, you could be lucky and pick up a piece of plywood or something and find one, but that's really rare.
How about a red-legged frog?
If you go to a pond that they're present in, there's a good chance you'll see one if you are careful and quiet. You'll frequently see them out in the water with just their heads sticking up above the water surface. And then if you're really lucky, you'll find one along the shore, but most of the time you don't see it and it jumps in the water before you even notice what it is. And of course, both species are listed. They are both federally listed as threatened, which means you're not supposed to touch them, pick them up, bother them, harass them. So the advice is, if you happen to see one, you're lucky enough to see one, enjoy it, but don't really do anything more.
Now head back to the marina on the Los Vaqueros Trail. Look for wildlife and listen to our conclusion along the way. That's segment 12.